Welcome to another episode of the Read Pile. Today I'm taking a look at Dragon Ball Super Volumes 17 and 18. But before I talk about these, I need to go back and talk about 15 and 16 a bit more, because there are things that I tend to leave out of my videos. A big thing of why I talk about certain books is I want to promote things that I enjoy, promote things that I like, and I don't want to do a bunch of videos saying, hey, this is trash, don't read this. I want to say, hey, this is great. If you aren't familiar, check this out. So, in that regard, what I tend to do is leave things out so that if you do read it, you will still be surprised. I won't have spoiled everything. But in order to talk about this, I need to go back and fill in some of the things that I left out. Notably, when Goku is fighting Moro, near the end, Goku gives him an offer. He says, if you go back to jail, I won't kill you. And everyone says, Goku, this is a terrible idea. And he goes through with it anyway. And he makes a similar offer to Granolah when they're fighting over here, but I'll get to that in a minute. It's somewhat rare for, Goku's kind of a nice guy in the sense that he doesn't necessarily, he's not out to kill people. He just wants to fight strong people and get stronger himself in the process, and, protect generally life, not necessarily just the Earth, but, life in general. He wants to protect people. Over here, what I left out is Granolah has made a wish. There's another set of Namekian Dragon Balls. Granolah makes a wish to make himself the strongest in the universe, and that's what kicks off a bunch of stuff. The Heeters, talked about them briefly, wind up manipulating, and this guy plays a minimal part. He doesn't really matter. But the Heeters manipulate both Granolah and the Saiyans into being at the same place at the same time and telling them, hey, you guys have a beef with this guy and he has a beef with you, and why don't you guys fight, is what what they tell everyone. So that that leads to the beginning of this, and you can tell just from the table of contents here. So initially, Goku fights Granolah, and then we have essentially 3 chapters of Vegeta versus Granolah, which is phenomenal. I loved it. So we start with Goku versus Granolah, and there is a point where it looks like Goku is winning, and I still left more stuff out. I'll come back to this. Not done with those yet. It looks like there's a point where Goku is winning, and he makes Granolah a similar offer that he made to Granolah. He's like, hey, we don't have to fight. They haven't realized that everything's a misunderstanding yet, that the Heeters have lied to both sides. Goku's just like, hey, we don't have to fight, we could just be done. And Granolah doesn't take it, and obviously, because it's so early on in the fight, everyone needs to power up some more before any of this concludes. But what's basically going on here, and one of the things that I didn't talk about with Goku's training and Whis, is Whis tells Goku not to think of Ultra Instinct as a transformation in itself, but to think of it more as a state of being. It's a calmness. It's a kind of calmness of both mind and heart. Anyway. So Goku is trying to implement that in this fight. He's doing pretty well for himself, and Vegeta gets tagged in, so obviously something goes wrong. I will point this out too, because there's a couple of moments here where I took a picture of this and I shared it on Instagram. It's little moments like that I love about Dragon Ball. Anyway, Vegeta's training. So, Whis is training Goku, and Beerus is training Vegeta. And Beerus tells Vegeta a couple of things, notably that there's a power that Beerus uses, that Gods of Destruction use, that he calls Destruction. And there's also sort of uncapped level of what Vegeta calls Ultra Ego, and it's unbounded. What I didn't realize is I've seen action figures of this alter ego third party Vegeta form, and I hadn't looked that closely at it. I didn't realize that it's a sort of Super Saiyan 3 eyebrowless brow ridge, but clearly that's what that is. So alter ego, and it's basically Vegeta has an incredible moment in this as well, where he sort of admits to not being the same person that he used to be, and it's character moments like that that make me love Dragon Ball. Like, the fights are cool, but it's the characters that are the reason that I still continue reading this. It's just little character moments like that. Anyway, so there's a bunch of cool stuff happening in this. The names, Cerealians, are still amazing. But it's a lot of Vegeta versus Granolah in this, and both, I guess, Goku gets incrementally stronger and Vegeta kind of uncaps and still winds up hitting a ceiling because of kind of personal feelings. It's complicated and you'd have to read it, and which I do recommend doing, but Goku tries to help at one point, and oh man, it's really good stuff. So that's all of this. Mostly Vegeta versus Granolah, and it's amazing stuff. We jump over here because something happens at the end of this, and we get some of the past explained. This is in the past, this is Bardock. And what's crazy too is I'm reading this, and at one point Vegeta tells Goku that Bardock was his father, because he's listening to the story, and they're talking about how Bardock looks like Goku. And like, I've known, the audience has known Bardock for like 30 years, since the 90s, and Goku never has. And like, it took it being pointed out by Vegeta for me to really internalize that, to like have that sink in. It's pretty crazy. I've got another bookmark here for Don't Die, Kakarot. These guys love each other. Anyway, this is flashback stuff. It's Bardock, and it is Gas, who is revealed to be like the, I think, real big bad of this arc. The Heeters show their face, and everyone realizes, hey, we've been manipulated into this, and we will reluctantly team up to fight this guy. And Senzu beans get cracked open, and it's good stuff. Loving it. I think it ends. No, this is a unrelated cover, seemingly. So that's going to be more fighting. And then over here we've got, I think, Frieza Black, which I'm still looking forward to. Alter Ego there, and more Bardock and Granolah. So I guess we're not done with the flashback yet. And I've got 2 more volumes, or 1.5 maybe, before the end of this Granolah Heater arc. But it's really good stuff. I'm very much enjoying it. And then I know it looks like there's a time jump, and it looks like some great Saiyaman stuff, and also maybe a movie adaptation of the superhero, which they've not done so far. Oh, it's on his shoe. In the past, the manga has skipped over the movie stories, even though they're supposed to be canon. It's like, oh, go watch the movie instead of reading about it. It's a little, I find it weird. But it looks like the manga is actually adapting the movie this time, so I'll see what happens when I get there. But the ones that I've read are great, and there's still more things that I haven't told you, some great moments and significant things that happen that I'm not going to talk about, because I hope that you read it for yourself.